An explosion or a massacre caused by an Israeli airstrike on displaced people in tents that killed at least 40 people, left tents up in flames, people burnt to death, and one child headless in Rafah. Let's take a look at how the media covered Israel's attack on Rafah last night. This BBC reporter in Jerusalem called the attack an explosion.
There was this explosion last night in this area northwest of Rafah where...
Then said Israel acknowledged carrying out an airstrike in the area, whilst displaying footage of buildings targeted and not the tents being mentioned. The BBC initially embedded the news story in an older article that day, with a headline that would give no indication that Israel had just struck a tent city designated as a safe zone in Rafah, later publishing a standalone story which highlighted the attack more clearly. The Financial Times also called Israel's attack explosions at Gaza safe zone camp, despite acknowledging that the Israeli military said it struck the area, also mentioning in the article that Israel has pressed on with its military operation in Rafah despite an order to halt from the International Court of Justice. Sky News predominantly reiterated the Israeli army's statement without corroboration of Israel's claim that it was targeting a Hamas compound. Palestinians in Rafah were visibly killed, not feared dead, as Sky's reporter said. CNN reported the Palestinian side as well as acknowledging the Israeli army's official statement. CNN mentioned the horrific scenes of people being pulled from the burning tents.
And also some horrific images on social media of the bodies and those injured being pulled from burning tents. You can see firefighters, paramedics, the displaced.
And reported from the Gaza Ministry of Health that the majority of people killed were women and children. The Palestinian Rafah news agency said the death toll from Israel's attack rose to over 40 people, citing local sources. Most of the victims were women and children, it also noted. Al Jazeera's coverage referred to the attack as a heinous massacre that was widely condemned, and that Israel bombed yet another Gaza camp it had declared a safe zone. And Al Jazeera's UN correspondent said
Israel not only ignored the ICJ, but also did just the opposite and escalated with this new deadly attack.
Over in the US, Fox News parroted the Israeli army's statement that the Israeli airstrike on Rafah killed 2 top Hamas commanders and dozens of civilians. But so far there has been no confirmation of any Hamas officials or members being killed in this attack. The media coverage of Israel's assault on Gaza has widely been cited as having provided cover for Israel's actions and crimes in Gaza. Whilst journalism professors in the US have asked for a review of the New York Times' reporting of the war, over 700 journalists from dozens of news organizations signed an open letter criticizing Western media's coverage of the war. So is media coverage getting any better?